What do you think is the number one downfall for leaders?
As a business leader, you're a visionary. And if you dream big and you don't have executors, it can be dangerous. Leaders are learners. The minute we are so overconfident in who we are and we forget to learn, that's a problem. You will fail. Everything begins and ends with leadership. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's a personal goal. When you sit from a place of strength and you're safe in who you are ready to answer to the call of your greatness. You cannot scale without your people. Clarity to the vision. Why does your business exist? If you have clarity to that and you can give that clarity to your people, it's a game changer.
Okay, welcome back to the Freedom Fire podcast. I'm here with the one and only Annastacia Wainaina. How are you today?
I'm actually really excited to be here this morning. I did get delayed a bit because I missed one of my rituals. This is why I'm big on rituals. Last night, I just went to sleep and I didn't check what was on today. When I've woken up, I'm like, I needed to be here. So thank you for accommodating the lateness.
No worries at all. You know, me, I kind of scheduled out a lot of time for today. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. And I'm just happy actually we could have this conversation because, actually even introduce you, speaker, entrepreneur, helping CEOs in that feeling of when you're running an empire, you need that support, that help, that guidance, and it can be a very lonely journey. So, as you're doing keynote speaking and an author and doing amazing things in this space, how have you been in your life at the moment and what have you been working on?
Look, we are at the beginning of 2025 and our human mindset love the beginning of the year. Everybody has, almost people do have goals set and we are ready to go. And I'm a big believer in goal setting. And I don't like them to just be targeted because it's the beginning of the year. We had this conversation sometimes in December, say, people do tend to have a layback in December and January. And for me, I think it's time that you need to be digging in your heels, building the foundation, ready to run. And so December, January has been a busy month, personal, professional life for me. And thanks to you and your team who've come in and really supporting and helping me. And as you just said, when you're running an empire, you can't do it by yourself. So having a team to really support you and get you to where you want to go is amazing. And that's what I'm experiencing with you guys. I'm really appreciative of that. I have also had in my own personal life, it's just been quite an interesting beginning of the year with a few losses in the family and also having a child who was unwell. And that does throw you off the cuff a little bit. But I'm here and I'm excited. He's well, so I'm grateful for that. I've been very busy with work. I'm supporting an organization just not far from here. So I've been busy and I love to do what I do. So yeah, the beginning of the year has started really well and looking forward to really getting to the things that I'm excited to talk about today on what I have on offer.
And let's talk about that. So actually just, as a reference point, what exactly do you do for someone who's just like a CEO who's coming watching this, an entrepreneur, and they see this title, oh, I want to watch this. What exactly do you do?
I'm a business strategist. And the way I do business strategy is to really support people to self-leadership so then they can lead. Looking into a very strong sense of belonging, because belonging, as you look to Maslow hierarchy of law, that belonging is a need, just like safety. It's not just something we say because we're talking about diversity and inclusion. It's actually a human need. And when we look at it from that perspective and when you feel like you belong and you're secure in who you are as a person, you can self-lead and so you can lead a team. So there's nobody who can grow a business or drive a startup, be an entrepreneur and get to where you want to get without a team. If you want to be self-employed, very different. But if you really want to grow an empire, an organization, a company, and you'll be an entrepreneur, you need a team. You can't lead your team unless you can lead you first. And that's where I come in. to really be your support, to support you to have that very strong sense of belonging. The CEO decision-making journey can be very lonely. And we do know it's very lonely at the top, because sometimes we can come here and have a cup of tea and enjoy it and have conversations that are very wooded. But when you're at a point of making decision, you want thinkers, and you want people who see your world the way you see it, and you want people who can call you on the book that will avoid making very expensive mistakes. When we talk about CEOs, depending on how big your company is, your mistake is in $1 million. And so having the support system to ensure that you go through this journey successfully, and that you can have just a thinking partner, a concierge that supports you at that moment where you want to just bounce ideas with somebody.
Being that, and I resonate so much. So many people get caught up in leading a team, because when you're leading a team, you're serving others. Just like the same way you serve your clients, you have to serve your people, and your people are the most important asset to you. So the fact that you can be there for someone who's can be drained doing that, and maybe has that passion to do it, it's still a bit draining. So to have someone like you on the side, that makes sense.
Yeah, I say business success is about people, passion, profit, and purpose, the 4 Ps. But the people in that, as you said, is really, really important, because they are going to shift your business, your organization from just a startup to something magical, from moving from wherever you are to the next level. Your people are so important in those 4 Ps.
Yeah, very, very powerful. And then I'm really excited. I'm going to skip a little bit forward to the retreat, right? You're hosting retreats for leaders, CEOs, which is powerful, because people need that time away. And then the atmosphere, even to be able to do podcasting and can you talk to us a little bit about this retreat? Because I'm really excited to hear about it.
I am just so excited when I think about it, and I can't wait for July, August to be here, for us to really host you as leaders and people who have purpose and passion for your life, for your businesses, for your entrepreneurship, to come together with people who are like-minded, to be in an environment when you are surrounded by mentors and coaches, to have the opportunity to be able to be in a podcast and be interviewed and get to be able to show the world what is it that you're made of, but also be able to step away from everyday chaos and be in a moment of creativity. Just this weekend is just meant to be just about you and your self-leadership, and just how you are going to just thrive. Not just survive, but to just thrive. And if you're thriving, how can you even get to the next level, where we will be really having conversation about self-leadership and really building you and supporting you and making it all about you, because, as you said, leadership is about service. And so we're constantly serving others. And if our cup is not filled, and so we are feeding others from the saucer, we run in a really great risk of draining people and that being reflected. But when our cups are filled and when we looked after ourselves, we become better leaders.
So what are the details? Where are you looking to host it?
The place to be hosted is still in discussion. I want it to be a magical place, so don't you worry. It's going to be a special place, because I'm trying to be looking to space where I can account for everybody. So not all yoga, not all come and be in silence, but a place where the people who want to have fun, they can have fun. The people who want to really just be quiet, they can sit and be quiet. And so I do have a few different locations in my head, but I'm still in discussions with the organizers of these places. But it will be magical. It will be magical, and I'm really excited. And potentially outside of Sydney.
Yeah, that'd be nice as well. So let me sidetrack this now. Let me ask you, what do you think is the downfall of a lot of leaders? What goes where you see some companies, they do well for many years, and then just down? Or, like, in the small business world, if you'd be lucky to have a business by year 2, a lot of you see the numbers, how many drop out year one. So from even the long-term ones where companies have built and they go down, people who are inconsistent go out of business. What do you think is the number one downfall for leaders?
There are few things. It's not just one thing. It can be a combination of a lot of things, right? As a business leader, you're a visionary. Yeah. And if you dream big and you don't have executors, it can be dangerous. So it is really great to be visionary and you dream big. And you know this about me because I am a visionary and I have these grand ideas. But unless somebody comes back and say, yes, let's step back and work step by step on how we get here, for me, I'm like, yeah, of course it's achievable. Let's go for it. But then there's a lot of processes. And so if you're a visionary without the executors, there's a problem. Leaders are learners. The minute we are so overconfident in who we are and we forget to learn, that's a problem. The minute you trust yourself, you don't question everything you're doing, you will fail. When you remove your pedal from checking what's going on in the environment, what's the economy doing, what's depending on the world where you are in and what is it that you do, what's happening in your business environment. That means you've moved that pedal and you're not conscious, things change. We're talking about AI. It's going to revolutionize things. And so if you're a business leader sitting there and not really thinking 20, 30 years to come, you're just thinking about now. And you do need to focus now. But this is why you're a visionary, to be able to see what's coming ahead and prepare for ahead. But as I said that, I also have learned this from my coach. It is great to plan ahead. But then let's bring it back to what do I need to do today? What do I need to do in the next week? What do I need to do in the next 30 days? So as opposed to reviewing our goals and our visions for a year, let's make it for the next 30 days. Because if something is not working in the next 30 days, if you don't change it and go back and do something about it, it'll cost you. So stepping back and looking into our vision and thinking, what is it that I need to do today? What is it that I need to do in the next week, in the next 30 days? To me, I'm really working on that because I'm big on vision and I still believe in the vision. You need to be able to see it. You need to be very clear on it. But also it's learning to take back step. Yeah. One of the other key things I've been talking to people this year is we talk about investing in ourselves and it's really important. But if constantly all you're doing is gaining information and not really actioning, there's a problem. So be an action taker. I think that's the greatest thing for leaders, be an action taker.
And see you believe a lot of people fail to take that action. Why?
Because, and this is the world that we are in. It's constant. Oh, you need this, you need that, you need the shiny object. Always the shiny object. You need this, you need this course, you need this course. But you've done this course and this course. When do you actually pull yourself from everything and really action what it is that you're learning? And again, having a surety about yourself and leadership, it's quite a dance because you need to believe in you and your people need to know that you have the confidence. I don't trust you, as I said, and some leaders that way sometimes we fail because I have so much trust in me that I fail to check and check again. And when we fail to do that, that's when mistakes happen.
You're saying that you fail to double check the work that they're doing?
Not even yourself. Double check the work that your people are doing, but not micromanage. The one thing I've learned in life, when something fails, it's your fault. Whether you are directly into it or not, as a leader, it's your fault. Yeah? So you need to be at the top of it all the time. But the trust I'm talking about is I trust myself that I can be a great speaker. But the minute I overtrust that and I don't prepare because I've got confidence and trust in myself, I fail. Because then I don't prepare because I know I can do it, I can bring it, I can, as leaders, we don't get an opportunity to win it, Everything is in the small details. Paying attention to those small details. When a situation happens in your business, unpacking it and knowing which small detail did I miss? Because sometimes it's not the big grander things. It was just I didn't connect the dot here and there, and being able to sit back and reflect and do that analysis. Biggest. You ask the one thing, and I'll tell you the one key thing, maybe, as I said, it's a multitude of things, but the one key thing for sure that I know is delaying decision making. You better make a decision and be wrong, because once you're wrong, you can come back and action it. But sitting there because I must have all the facts correct to take action, so many leaders fail on that. And it needs to be perfect. Everything must be aligned. I must have a business plan and have this and have this. You can write a business plan and spend 2 years really perfecting that business plan because it's what the business school told you. And when you go to market, it doesn't work. Yeah, you've had me teach and say, if you're taking a service or a product out there, unless you've had one customer at least, don't do it. I must be able to pitch whatever it is that I'm doing and get somebody to pay me, even if they're paying me $5, that I can trust that somebody sees the need for what I'm giving to the world. Somebody sees the need for the product that I'm giving to the world. If you are to create a product or a service and nobody buys and it perfected everything, then what? So action, action, action. But the delay in decision making, that's what catches a lot of leaders. The delay in decision making.
I feel that's so true, because even like me, when I started, you just go by action. You just go act. And like you said, you make the mistake, you can now come back and revert. So I think it's so true just to lead with action.
How can I get better? You can't get better if all you're doing is behind a keyboard.
Learning.
The same day as say, if you're a business leader who you must sell every day, and every day we're not selling, then you're not selling. So conversation with people all the time about our business and what is it that we do, of trying to excel. Otherwise, it just doesn't. It's not like there's a difference when you're in COVID and people are in need of masks. You don't have to go and sell them. But that's a fad. It goes away really quick. We are, as leaders, we're not in fad businesses, But if you're in one that you don't need the conversation, good luck. But for the most part, and the places and spaces of being in, you need to have conversation with people. You need to sell every day. You need to take action. I bet that my whole thing is decision making and action taking.
And you talked about something earlier. You said, how does one think 20 to 30 years and see what's happening? How do you get people to think long term? Because I realize not a lot of people think so long term, stretched out. So how do you get people to think more about that? Or is that something that some were born with?
Look, you can train leaders, but I think some of these things, this is what determines whether you're going to be a great leader or not. And if you know it's not in you, then you learn. Yeah? If you made mistake because I didn't think ahead of it, then you stop and think, okay, I hadn't seen that coming. What did I miss? So next time I need to be at the check of it. I need to know what's happening in the Australian market. What is predicted to happen? Read, immerse yourself in that world. If I want to be a speaker, I need to immerse myself in the world of speakers. If I want to be a teacher, the only way is to immerse myself in that world. And today we have no excuse. We have the internet at your exposure. Immerse yourself in that world. Get into this conversation. If we want to be a billionaire, unless you're positioning yourselves in the spaces where billionaires sit and they spend their time and look into what is it that they do, then you'll never be one. You know what I mean? You can dream and think about it. But if you want to be it and do it, take 3 of them and study them so keenly, observe them, hang out in the spaces that they would hang out, do the things that they would do, you know, then I haven't seen Elon Musk outside there in the world trying to prove to people, look at the life I'm leading. So if you want to play in his space and you're on social media trying to prove to the world, look at how successful I am, you'll never get his success. You get what I mean? Like there are people who've done what we want to do for the most part. Learn from them. Immerse yourself in that world.
I love that. Immerse yourself in that world. So true. Read the books, find out about them. You know, even when you talk about Elon Musk there in terms of the social media side, his sole focus is just on solving problems, serving people. So that's why you don't see those things on social media. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, being yourself on social media if you have nice things. That's, you know, but he's so focused on serving people.
It's about, and that's exactly what it is. It's about problems. So what problem are you solving in the world? Make it about purpose. Make it about service. What service am I bringing to the world? And obsess about it. Obsess about finding a solution to whatever it is that you feel so called to. You know, obsess about it. Get to really immerse yourself in that world and learn it. Learn everything that you need to learn about it. You know, none of us are born, well, they're geniuses, but none of us are born knowing everything. We learn about the things that we want to learn about. You know, and I am a big believer, you really can set yourself up to the success of where you want to go if you want it so bad. You know, if you want it so bad, you will do whatever it takes.
You'll push and fight through. So can you talk about, before we go into a few small business strategies, so what are you doing per month? So you have these things power out. You know, like what are some things that you're doing as, you know, you continue to just give, you know, to certain people? We saw so many comments on your YouTube with the past few of your videos when I came to empower her, and you're teaching, you know, business owners and business women, actually leading into International Women's Month. But yeah, that was so powerful to see the way you were able to provide such value to people about, okay, what are the trends, what are happening, what are the 3 ways that you're going to really serve people at mass level and become millionaire status. Yeah, what's happening in that realm, and what are you doing?
So the power is, I've thought about this year very strategically in how I support the people that I want to hang out in my world and the people that I want to serve. And one of the key things and one way I want to serve you is to really spend some time every month with you for an hour just talking about leadership, self-leadership, and talking about the things that really you could do, the strategies to really feel like you belong. So that's once a month, that 1 hour of just coming together and really spending time going deeper into some of the strategies and what I'm seeing happening in the world and in the spaces that I am right now. The second thing is a masterclass series, which will be, once it's released, it's 3 days. 3 days of today we get together, we talk about a strategy, tomorrow we'll delve into it, and the following day we delve into it. So there's a power hour every month, there's the masterclass series, and then there's the retreat. And really, these are spaces we're just coming to talk about strategies and things that you could do to really serve you, fill your cup, be in that space to self-lead for business, but also from a really personal space. Because unless really you can lead you, you can't lead business.
Unless you can lead, you can't lead a business. Facts. Yeah. So having power out every month is powerful. Can you talk a little bit about the masterclass series? Like, we're also going into International Women's Month, so we can kind of touch on these two at the same time.
Yeah.
For a lot of these, you know, female founders, CEOs, whether from, you know, big businesses up until, your small to medium businesses. How do you see that space, and how shall they navigate, in being able to build a business of their dreams?
Yeah, I'm tired, and I've been saying this to people in my space. I'm tired of really hearing female businesses, female CEO, female that, female this. We never hear male CEO, male breakfast, male that. I just want us to come and really lead from the place of our power. Stop talking about the things that have really happened to us and how we are disadvantaged as women, and talk about how we can take the power in our hands and go to the world as us, as you, using the feminine power that is you, and not looking at it as if, because the man is like this, they're in a better advantage. Let's stop that composition. Let's talk about how powerful am I? What about me? What about me as a leader? What is it that is about me? Hi, in me as Annastacia, how am I showing up in the world and in the space as a leader, and how can I grow? Because we know if we want to be counted at the table, we must be able to have the economic power. And now, if they're not going to invite us at a table, let's create our own tables. Let's create those tables, and not create those tables to talk about how we are victims, but to create those tables to take the world by power, from a place of power, from a place of strength, from a place of, I'm a woman and I can do this. Yeah? Not because I want to push back because I've been told I can't. I want to prove that we have nothing to prove. We have nothing to prove. We just need to show up. And I want to teach that to my girls. I'm a mother of many. Yes, I am. I am mothering a son, but I am a mother of many. And the girls that are in my world, I want them to know they are as powerful. As powerful. And I just want them to show up holding that feminine power and not having to have anything to prove, to sit from a place of strength and power. And so, as we come to the International Women's Day, I urge women, as the conversation we're starting to have, that they are conversation of power, and that we're talking from a place of strength and not always gathering to talk about how we've been disadvantaged. I think we've had that conversation for too long. And we need to start saying, how do we take things now and move forward, not because we want to compete, but because I just want to show up as me. And I am powerful. And I am just enough. And I really wish we can get here as women. I have nothing to prove. So I'm looking forward to the conversation we are having surrounding this International Women's Day. If you're in my space in leadership and we happen to be women in the room, we will talk about us from a place of power as a leader. I just want to feed you and fill your cup as a leader.
So if I was to ask you, why do you do what you do?
Because I'm passionate about a world where we equal. And when I say equal, we're not equal in strength, but we are equal in the way we show up. I don't want a world where strength and girl child, and then what happens to the boy child. I want us to just a world where we show up as us, as people. I do what I do because I have learned that everything begins and ends with leadership. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's a personal goal. When you sit from a place of strength where you're not insecure and you know that you belong and you're safe in who you are, you show up in the world slightly different and you play a bigger game in life because, again, you have nothing to prove. So you are ready to answer to the call of your greatness.
How do you get people to the point of have nothing to prove? Because I feel like also a lot of people, even a lot of leaders, CEOs, some of it can come out of insecurity.
As human, we all have a dark side and a good side. And yes, sometimes that dark side can drive us. There is a place, every emotion we have as human, there's space for it. And sometimes it's that anger that's going to drive you. It's that negative emotion that is going to drive you to get there. Yeah? But if you're going to prove something, let it be you're proving to yourself. Because what happens when you're really striving to prove to others, when you achieve it and they don't see it, then you're broken. And you're constantly this empty. And there are so many achievers. They've achieved so much because they've just been driven by that. But there's no fulfillment. So they can come from a different space. And it's really powerful when you recognize this is what drives you. And you know, when you're feeling demotivated, and let that anger drive you. Let it drive you. Get there. But it's a balance. I say leadership is a dance. Yeah, because to gain fulfillment is to also know that I don't have to prove to you. But I can push myself to prove to myself. That statement that my teacher, in whatever I read, meant is actually not true. And I'm going to prove to myself that it's not true. I don't have anything to prove to the world, but I have got a statement to make to myself that actually I am capable. That will drive fulfillment. But if you're waiting for validation from others, it may never come. And so we will have all this great success when the world looks like, but our hearts are empty. And that's a dangerous place to be.
I think that was powerful what Hay said. You can do all that and they might not even realize it. And they might not choose to realize. So you were doing it just to prove someone wrong, but it stays the same. Or that they could see, but yeah, they still won't acknowledge it, for example. What do you do now? You know?
Exactly. That's why it's really important. The only person have something to... Let the elder drive you, yes. But no, the only person you have something to prove to, the only validation that matters is yours. It is great. You know, it's great to have to be validated. It's great to walk in the room and you say, Auntie, you look great today. It feels amazing. But if I didn't wake up and say, Annastacia, you look amazing, doesn't matter what you say. My heart will still be empty.
Even when I do compliment you. Right? And so positive and negative, it's the same as if I came and said, you look horrible today. It's the same. If you didn't, you know, like you went and said it to yourself, no, even when I say it, you don't care because I already validated myself.
Exactly.
And if I didn't validate myself there, now when you say it to me, oh, you got to take that personal. Right. So it both ways.
It's both ways. The conversation that happens here is so important than the conversation that is in the outward, because I will take the outward world from the way I'm processing it because of what is in here.
Yeah. And I think it just goes back to, like, I got the reminder as well. Just serve your clients. Go back to, you know, have that should be that instead of proving someone else wrong, serve the people you're serving.
Exactly.
That's the key to work.
Obsess on the solution and that problem. Obsess on your customer.
Those are distractions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obsess on your customer. Obsess on the solution that you're going to bring into their world. How can I serve you? How can I make it better? How can I actually go and deliver?
If we put it in a practical sense, someone's running a business out there. I know this is a hard question to ask without much context, but what are the key pillars for someone to scale, to grow their business? You know,
your people. You cannot scale without your people. Clarity to the vision. Why does your business exist? Why do you exist? If you have clarity to that, why you exist, and you can really speak to it, and you can give that clarity to your people so they know why you exist, that will be, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. That's why everything I do is surrounded towards a model called Wainaina. Kuriwa, the identity. That can be the identity of your business. Why does your business exist? What is the DNA of your business? Yeah. You can't answer that question unless you answer, why do you exist? Aspiration. What drives you? What really drives you? What drives your business? Inspiration. What inspires you? Why? What gives your heart? Why do you wake up in the morning? What's that heartbeat? What is it? Right? What are your non-negotiable? What are your values? What is it that you're not willing to compromise on? And when you're clear on your values and your people are clear on your values, the decision-making process becomes very, very easy because your decision-making comes from your values, right? So there are different pillars that I teach through the Wainaina method. That's why that's my place to go to. That when you come to the power hour, when you come to the master classes, when you come to the retreat, that's gonna be the core thing. That's the core of where our foundation is built, and everything we'll be able to teach is from there.
And I think that's why it's so important to have you by someone's side. And the reason I say that is because you said one of the number fundamental ways to scale is your people. You know, it's so true. Your people, you know, I think especially when it comes to, you know, that exponential growth, you have, we like to say, the two exponential pillars that will take you to the next level, your next innovative marketing campaign, so how you market your next campaign, and then leadership development, how you develop those two things, you know, and it's so true. It's powerful. So, you know, how would you say for someone in that position, what's one tip you can give them that they can work on their people? So when you talk about, I know that people are my biggest asset, right? I've got to lead a team. I've got to have a great team. What's one practical piece of advice you can give someone to lead a team effectively for, you know, the next quarter, for example?
This is the thing, having very clear directives that are written, because I see this a lot where the business is running and people will come and go sometimes. People will come and go. Having very clear, this is your role. This is how I expect this to be done. So my job as a leader is to come up with the creative ideas and to come up with the solutions. The people that I then have, the next level from me are to make sure that these ideas are implemented. And then you have the implementers. And having very clear directives for each and every whatever, it's so important. If you have an executive assistant who doesn't know what is it that you like, how do you like it done? They're not clear, like, I like my processes like this, like this, like this. You're going to have to keep repeating yourself and training and retraining. But if you just very clear, you have it written, people are clear on this is the way you like things, done. That to me, for any leader, it is super, super important when you're working with people, that people are clear on what are my roles and responsibility and how do I need to execute, right? And that comes because I'm clear on where I'm going, I'm clear on what support I need, and I'm clear how that support needs to be delivered, right? And then I now have to give it to people. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. And as my coach will say, when you're in business and you're doing between $0 to $1 million, most of the part is you driving, and your people come into it. But if you're going to scale, the next level becomes your people. It really becomes about your people and how efficient those people are. And as we know in any business, you're going to have your A players, you're going to have your B players and your C players. And it's understanding your people. That knowledge of knowing your people and knowing how they play and knowing that you've positioned them in the right positions, great. You don't want to have an executive assistant who is a C player, who doesn't even, you have to push them for them to be motivated. And you will have those people in the business. They will be there. You want your executive assistant to be an A player who knows you, who's driven, who's going, who wants the success of the business as much as you want it.
Kind of fun, good input. I like that. So true. So true. Before we leave, is there any, powerful message that you want to give? Now we've talked about the Power Hour Masterclass series. When are you looking to host the Masterclass series?
The Masterclass series will start in March. So there'll be different series of about maybe 3 or 4 in the year. The first one is in March. And as I said, it's February coming month. We'll catch up for a Power Hour. There'll be a Power Hour in March. But in March also there'll be a 1 week where it's 3 days of just let's dive into it. Right? And then, after 2 months, then we'll get into it. So there'll be about 3 of them in a year because there's the retreat.
Powerful. Yep. So make sure, those are call to action for people to join those. So is there any message that you want to leave someone out there who's watching?
I think the power of our mind. So I said I'm excited to be here, and I'm always on the go as I'm awake today at about 3 in the morning. And for the most part, I am up by 5. But what keeps me going, rituals, but also recently I've just discovered what I'm calling mental performance short, Magic Mind. And it's literally a short. It's a little short that is amazing in taste. And you can buy it in Amazon. You can go and check Magic Mind. But for anybody listening to our session today and want really to be at the top performance, at the top mental performance, where you don't have brain fog, where you're not worried. Doesn't mean you skip your coffee. If you love your coffee, you can still have the Magic Mind and have the coffee. Little short, as I said, tastes amazing. For the listeners that are listening to us and want to go for it, you can go to the website and you type in the key code, which will be in the notes, Freedom F20, and you'll definitely get 20% discount from them because they're amazing. They contacted me, talked about this, and I was like, I don't even believe it. And they're like, if you don't believe it, we'll send it to you for you to test, and I can attest to them. Being somebody who's driven and does what I do, I can notice the difference of when I haven't taken the shot. So mental performance shop, they're called Magic Mind. The information should be in the note. You get to see the ingredient, you get to learn more about the company because they're bringing everything natural. It's made by natural product. They source it rightfully. Just an amazing product, great taste. So if there's anything I'm going to leave people with is to go and try your mental performance short, because our day, from the minute we get up, if we don't have brain fog, how amazing. If we can stay alert and going, if we can minimize our stress levels naturally by, not taking cocaine, if I can have something that is going to have the same impact and I'm feeling like I'm on the hyper and high and I can perform, why not? So there's no harm in trying them.
Giving them a try. Yeah, I love that. So you guys can check that out below. And also, even with your keynote speaking, if people want to book you as a keynote speaker, as you've seen here in this podcast, it's so effortless, and seeing you in Afropreneurs and see you, on stage talking and spreading your gift is big, powerful. And so to see you also venture off into doing that is truly, truly powerful. I think that's something to really look forward to seeing me this year. And you guys can book, and organizations can book in below, you speaking and representing that voice and diversity and people into the marketplace, into the world, so you can again help people's biggest asset, which is their people.
Yeah, and I am excited. I have taken speaking seriously. Communication is a huge part of who we are. Communication is huge as leaders. I'm with coaches. I'm with coaches being about speaking. I'm with coaches about my voice. I'm with coaches because I'm taking it seriously. I'm taking it to the next level, and I do want to serve at the best that I can serve. And I know I do come to life when I'm speaking to people and really getting people to really be ignited, their vision and their purpose and their reason of being reignited. That's self-leadership. So I'm really excited this 2025 to say, I'm ready for the world. I'm ready to speak. I've been doing it, but not doing it. So now here I am.
There you have it. Thank you guys for watching the Freedom Fire podcast. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Lovely. Thank you.